Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Friday, 3rd October 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Venezuelan Parliament approves a cooperation treaty with Russia as tensions between them and the US intensifies. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. Venezuela's National Assembly has approved a strategic cooperation treaty with Russia covering energy, defense, technology, and economic sectors, though it still requires President Nicolas Maduro's approval. The move comes amid rising tensions with the United States, which has deployed 8 warships, a nuclear submarine, and fighter jets to the southern Caribbean, citing drug trafficking concerns. Maduro was also awarded an honorary doctorate in security issues from the Bolivarian Military University, highlighting his focus on national defense. Meanwhile, Panama will host U.S. Marines for joint jungle training exercises to strengthen regional security. As military posturing intensifies in the Caribbean, the standoff between Venezuela, Russia, and the U.S. continues to escalate. Details in this France 24 news item.
The agreement voted on by the government coalition-controlled assembly is designed to strengthen relations in energy, defense, technology, and the economy, according to the Venezuelan news agency. However, the treaty, officially called the Law Approving a Treaty of Strategic Association and Cooperation between Venezuela and Russia, still requires promulgation by President Nicolas Maduro.
Apruebe y refrende.
To approve and countersign the agreement signed between the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, presided over by Nicolas Maduro, and the government of the Russian Federation, presided over by President Vladimir Putin, because it's the expression of the brotherhood, the expression of a different way in which the people and governments relate, the expression of the increasingly solid and persistent condition of friendship, brotherhood, and cooperation between the Russian Federation and the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
De la cada vez más sólida y persistente.
Now, the development comes amid heightened tensions within the region. In fact, earlier in September, the United States carried out 3 strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in the southern Caribbean. And yesterday, President Trump increased his rhetoric, saying his administration was weighing options to attack drug cartels directly by land.
We'll see what happens with Venezuela. Venezuela's been very dangerous with drugs and with other things. We had a lot of drugs coming in through water. We call it water drugs, just a simple term. We don't have any boats on the water. There are no boats. There are no fishing boats. There are no anything. So we hit a number of boats. You probably saw that. And since we did that, we have absolutely no drugs coming into our country via water because it was lethal. And now we'll look at cartels. We're going to look very seriously at cartels coming by land.
Now, meanwhile, President Maduro was awarded an honorary doctorate in security issues from the Bolivarian Military University. Wearing a medal, a red beret, and a black tunic, Maduro received the degree in a ceremony attended by the Venezuelan defense minister and other senior military officials. And speaking after the award, the Venezuelan leader delivered a master class in which he defended Venezuela's response to the U.S. military presence in the Caribbean.
Cuando se me planteó Why is the U.S. empire now launching its multifaceted plan against Venezuela? With a worn-out false narrative. A false narrative already rejected by U.S. public opinion itself. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, with his indecency and so-called morality, has said that Venezuelan military bases are the epicenter of drug trafficking. As the constitutional commander-in-chief of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, I reject and repudiate Marco Rubio's statements.
Con una falsa narrativa desgastada.
President Maduro declared that his government is on high alert and could declare a state of emergency to grant special powers in defense and security matters if U.S. aggression continues. He rejected U.S. accusations of him leading a cartel after Washington offered a $50 million reward for his arrest. And for now, the naval buildup in the region has seen 8 U.S. warships and a nuclear submarine dispatched to the Southern Caribbean, along with 10 fighter jets sent to Puerto Rico. And the development is the largest since the December '89 invasion of Panama by U.S. forces. Meanwhile, Panama announced on Tuesday that the United States Marines will conduct a joint training exercise in its jungle with local security forces from October 9th to the 29th. And according to the Ministry of Public Security, the exercise aims to improve capabilities, enhance interoperability, and strengthen regional security. And about 50 U.S. Marines will travel to Panama aboard a U.S. transport plane. So as the standoff in the Caribbean grows, questions remain over whether these moves signal preparations for a larger confrontation that are still to come.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Guyana features at the Tier 1 level of the U.S. State Department's Trafficking in People report. Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News has that story.
Guyana's once again secured Tier 1 ranking in the 2025 Trafficking in Persons TIP report issued by the U.S. Department of State. Marking the 9th consecutive year the country has been recognized for serious and sustained efforts to combat human trafficking. The annual TIP report evaluates global responses to human trafficking and places countries in tiers based on their efforts. A Tier 1 ranking is the highest classification given to governments that meet the minimum standards for eliminating trafficking and demonstrate consistent progress. Minister of Home Affairs Onij Walron described the achievement as evidence of government's unwavering commitment to protecting vulnerable populations and dismantling trafficking networks. She credited the work of the Ministerial Task Force on Trafficking in Persons, civil society stakeholders, NGOs, and international partners for strengthening Guyana's anti-trafficking framework. The 2025 report highlighted several notable advancements, including an increased prosecution rate, the conviction of a sex trafficker with an ordered restitution payment, expanded collaboration with foreign governments on cross-border cases, and greater funding for victim support and prevention efforts. Despite a positive ranking, the U.S. State Department issued 12 key recommendations for Guyana to further improve. These include expanding prosecutions, particularly in cases involving children, eliminating recruitment fees charged to workers, increasing spot-in inspections in vulnerable sections such as mining and logging, enforcing restitution orders more promptly, and ensuring convicted traffickers and complicit officials face adequate penalties. Minister Waldron affirmed the government's readiness to address these recommendations through stronger policies, rigorous monitoring, and expanded partnerships, adding that the administration is committed to both prevention and victim protection. The Ministry of Home Affairs also urged the public to report suspected cases of human trafficking. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Migration is good for the economy. That is the belief of political analyst Peter Wickham. He says data suggests that benefits of people migrating to countries like Barbados are significant, with the freedom of movement for nationals of 4 CARICOM countries, including Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica, starting on Wednesday. Mr. Wickham says people coming to the island will more than likely be coming to work. Mr. Wickham is not of the opinion that there is going to be an influx of CARICOM nationals coming to Barbados because of the new arrangement.
industrious, generally more industrious than the local population in many instances. They consume products and services, so as a result, they will spend money. So if people are earning and there's a growth in the economy, there's a benefit all around. And I think generally those are the issues which are good. The fears are, that people will take over, they will take jobs away. I think a lot of those fears are not necessarily reflected in terms of the actual outcomes. Invariably, people who come to work in islands invariably will come to do things which the local community either does not want to do or is not able to do in sufficiently large numbers, like construction, where you don't have a sufficiently large pool of construction workers. I believe the numbers are going to be hugely different to what we would have seen before. And what I think happened more recently as the Barbados Labour Party came into office and their attitude towards migration seems to have changed, and the singular market and economy, is that a number of people have been coming forward and saying, look, I'm here. So let me register national insurance, and you provide opportunities for people to be legitimately resident in the country, and they're doing so. It doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't resident before. It's just they were resident illegitimately. They were working under cover of darkness, and now they are essentially able to go and apply for national insurance card or social security and make contributions and things of that nature.
People engaging in full free movement of CARICOM nationals, which began on Wednesday, will not just be moving to another country. That's according to Dominica's ambassador to CARICOM and the commissioner to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Dr. Gerard Jean-Jacques, who acknowledged there are fears that such moves could place pressure on the social services of any country. Dominica is one of 4 CARICOM member states pioneering the initiative, along with Barbados, Belize, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dr. Jean-Jacques made the comments as a guest of TV8's Morning Barbados.
If you have indicated somewhere on the form or in some other way your intention to remain indefinitely, you will be invited to visit the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to register your presence, register your intention and your presence. What does registration mean? The purpose of registration is really for state planning. That is, a state, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, St. Vincent, we would want to know what is the dichotomy of the demographics coming into Dominica.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.